Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day, with your host, Justin P. I'm joined again by my lovely co host, Miss Shannon Six. He's going to be conducting the show today, episode 30. All the links are in the description. Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. I'm also on Twitter. Shannon has her Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So everything's all laid out for you. So I don't need to go into that. So, we're great getting to it today. Y'all see the, what we're going to talk about is right there in the title. So, I'm going to let Shannon go and start off. Man, how you doing today, Shannon?
I'm good. Um, let's just jump right into it because I literally I just read an article from Jamison Hensley and I think Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. And
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't read that article yet, read it. Like it's great. It's a good read. Period. But it just made me, as I was reading it, I was going through so many different emotions, and it just made me think about Lamar and his contract, and is it going to get done or is it not going to get done? So my question to you is, Tuesday that just passed was the first day we could have applied. Anybody could have applied a franchise tag, and
Mm-hmm.
teams have until I believe March the 7th to apply that franchise tag. And if they don't, then I'm assuming the players become a free agent, right? So my question to you is, do you think that we're going to get a long-term deal done, or will a franchise tag be applied to Lamar by March the 7th?
That's a very good question, Shannon. This is just my personal opinion. Like I said, nobody has no inside scoop, so that's all it is opinion and speculation at this point, unless somebody got a unknown source and organization. But I think they're going to try to get something done first because they want to get that out the way. That way they can focus on the draft, the agency, and just and Todd Monken install his offense, knowing whether he's going to have his Pro Bowl MVP quarterback, or he's going to have a rookie or veteran somewhere. No, they want to get the uncertainty out the way first. So they'll try to do that. They're gonna be like, look, Lamar, we probably can't fully guarantee the deal, but we can. That's like, what's the closest we can get? Can we get you like 5 years, 250? Could we guarantee? We give you 200 guarantee, 210 guarantee? Would that move the needle?
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll up it up a little bit more because people keep talking about the trade them and this all and that. That sounds good, of course. It push from the shove. That's what you want to do. But do you see the Jets? Do you see these teams like the Redskins? I mean, the Commanders, sorry, the
Mm-hmm.
Colts. That's playing musical chairs at quarterback. Y'all really want to go through that?
I
So
don't.
that's why I tell my I know that. That's why I ask those fans. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. So I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is far fetched. I ask, are y'all prepared to go through that? Like, just think about it. Unless we get a top, we get the pick from the Colts or the Bears or the Texans, we're gonna get a quarterback that's probably gonna be like not really ready to lead us day one. So
Mm-hmm.
y'all ready to sit
Right.
back and have a couple rough seasons, like possibly. So you can't have it both ways. You can't try to win a Super Bowl and try to restart over at quarterback.
Right.
So I asked a lot of people that, but I think they'll try to get a deal done first. If not, then yeah, they'll play on the franchise tag. It's 47.5, which is practically 48 million. He just plays on his 5th year option for 24, so he's getting double that.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be crazy not to play on that. If something was to happen to him again, he get every dollar, every cent.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Dak Prescott did. Remember,
Yeah.
he didn't have the 5th year option. They had the franchise tag him immediately because he was
Mm-hmm.
fourth round pick, so he only had 4 years. He played on. He got his 32 million. He got hurt, got every cent of it, and he still got his contract. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, football is a sport. Like what I mean, like it happens. Injuries are going to happen. It's like
Mm-hmm.
people just kill me with this. Like they act like he just ran into, like he just got himself hurt. Like he just ran out there into a bunch of tacklers and got himself hurt, or he just ran into.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. He got hurt twice trying to trying to throw the ball from within the pocket. A backside blitzer came untouched and got him, and he got hurt. So he's missed, like I said, he missed 5 games, 6 games, but he still played 80% of his career start. So it's like, he only missed 10 games. Out of what, 70 something games. So
Yeah.
it's not
It's always the wrong time of the year though. That's what I'll
right. I
say.
will say I would, and I said that before because it's always getting close to playoff time and stuff like that. And his injuries back to back years could have possibly cost us the playoff runs, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So I get everybody's frustration with that part. But like I said, man, he gives us the best chance to win, man. Like I said, is he perfect? No, he does have stuff. He has to fix his mechanics. Me personally, I think he has to scan the field better. Like I said, he's human. Every quarterback has flaws.
Hmm.
Drew Brees' arm strength wasn't the biggest. That
Yeah.
was a knock on him. Tom Brady, he felt Tom Brady was picked damn near last for a reason. I know you know this. And I try to tell the casual football player, he was picked almost seven. He almost went undrafted for a reason. Like his
Hmm.
arm strength, he just didn't have the physical tools, but he got better as time went on. He didn't come into the league as just Tom Brady that get
Tom
no
Brady.
love. He had to work
Right.
into it. So
Right.
every player has flaws that they got to fix. So that's why I tell everybody like he's 46 and 16 as a starter. That's a good record. That's an amazing
Oh,
record.
definitely.
Yeah, I get the playoff record, 1-3, whatever, whatever. The playoff numbers, I get all that. Peyton Manning playoff numbers was terrible too. Not saying Lamar's gonna be Peyton Manning. So I don't want anybody
Don't
to.
keep talking about Peyton Manning. Okay,
No, I'm a
leave
Peyton
him.
Manning guy. I love
Oh,
the shit,
oh,
but
okay.
I'm just showing people that playoff success is not that easy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, John Elway playoff numbers weren't good. Remember, he lost
Hmm.
his first three Super Bowls.
Yeah.
It took him to his last 2 years when he was about to, when he basically was done to win. So it's not that easy. I tell everybody, like Tom Brady and what he did, that's an anomaly. That won't probably ever happen again. Like a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, as phenomenal he is, at most he may win probably 4 Super
Hmm.
Bowls in his whole entire career. It's not that easy to do. So, but all in all, I think, like I said, they can't reach the deal. He'll definitely find a franchise tag and then now go from there. I think they'll trade him only if their hand is forced. But I don't like right now. That's probably the furthest thing from me.
So for me, it's like every week I have a different opinion,
What's
right?
up, C? Mm-hmm.
Because at this point I'm like, I don't know if it's going to get done. If it's true that Lamar's asking for guaranteed contract, I don't think the Ravens are going to do that just based on
Right,
what Steve Bisciotti said.
right.
Um, I feel like NFL players should have guaranteed contracts just like every other professional league, right? But that's not a Ravens issue, and that's not a Lamar's issue. And I don't feel like people need to force the Ravens into something that's never been done before. Outside of Deshaun Watson, and even like Kirk Cousins. Like when Kirk Cousins got a guaranteed contract, because that's everybody points to that. He got like a 3 year, 80
It
something
was
million.
three. It was 3 years. It wasn't a
Yeah.
long term.
So you're not going to get long term and 80 something million. That's not a lot. So, I mean, a lot of teams might want to do that. But back to Lamar, like I said, my emotions change. So, like a few weeks ago, a lot of us are just like looking at social media and like, what does this mean? What does that mean? A couple of weeks ago, I felt like y'all think the deal got done because Lamar was posting all this Ravens stuff. He had like a book bag on and he had on his Ravens chain. And I was like, does that mean Lamar got the bag and we just waiting for the Super Bowl and everything to pass because he didn't want to because this was the week leading to the Super Bowl. And I'm like,
Right.
maybe he doesn't want to take the take the attention away from that. So they'll announce it after that. They haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So we still sitting here waiting. Now they can place a franchise tag. Then this article comes out. And in the article, now I've heard it said before that the Ravens have been trying to sign him for 2 years. They've been negotiating for 2 years, right? And that means that they did try to sign him after the 2020 season because that's everybody's pushback. Well, the Ravens should have signed him when Josh Allen got signed. If they've been negotiating for 2 years, that means that they did try to, right? That now, like Eric said in the end of the year press conference, it takes two. So I don't know what Lamar was asking for. In 2021, we knew what he was asking for last year. Well, we knew he was asking for last year because they kept saying he wanted what Deshaun Watson got. We also know that what Deshaun Watson got, that's just something that doesn't happen. And the Browns were just thirsty and they were literally out of the running for him and just threw it. I'll give you this. Who's going to turn that down? He literally had just signed a contract and y'all gave him a brand new one and guaranteed it. Why would he say no to that? He doesn't have much success, any more success than Lamar has had. So on the surface, when you look at it, you're like, well, if he can get a guaranteed contract or get that amount, so should Lamar. But
Right.
I just don't think that that's smart because when I seen someone break down how that's going to affect the Browns cap over the next 4 years, I don't know how that's going to look for them. And I don't want that to be the Ravens. Now, that doesn't mean the Ravens should try to shortchange Lamar Jackson. I feel like a lot of the narratives that come out and the stories that come out are negative towards the Ravens, as if the Ravens aren't negotiating in good faith or they're trying to disrespect Lamar, they aren't doing right by him. Everything that I've seen is showing that they were okay with making him the second or third highest player. Him getting the 133 guaranteed, that was a signing bonus, not overall which everybody keeps trying to say that they offered him less guaranteed than Russell and Kyler Murray, which I'm learning as time go on, like that's not necessarily true. That 133 was talking about at signing, not over all your whole 200 and something $1 million contract. That wasn't what they were saying. I feel like it's a lot of false reporting. And if you don't do your own research, you really wouldn't know that. So I
Hmm.
feel like the Ravens have been trying to negotiate with Lamar, and I hope that a deal can get done because I really don't want them to have to apply the franchise tag. I remember how nasty it got with a lot of different guys, but Ray Rice really comes to mind because Ray Rice, he wasn't showing up until he signed that deal. And he literally signed it like the last day that you could sign it before it's off the table for the year. I don't want that, particularly from our quarterback. When we have a new offensive coordinator, we need Lamar there. And if we franchise tag him, even though I think that's what will happen if they're still negotiating, I just fear that if that goes on too long, he might not show up. And not having QB1 here would hurt us. So that's why I'm hoping a deal can get done. I don't even want them to apply the tag because when a tag gets applied, that can get nasty.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
because he might take that person. Okay, I'll play
yeah,
on, but the next year I'm gonna just be out a big F to you and hit free agent.
yeah. Like Le'Veon
Mhm.
Bell did that. Le'Veon Bell did that with the Steelers. Like,
He
okay,
didn't
one
even
year he's
play.
not
He
going to be
didn't even
back.
play. He signed it and got paid and didn't even play.
Did they do it to him twice? Did they do it to him twice? Did he play one time on it and then they tried to franchise
No,
tag him
no.
again?
I want to say no, but you may be right, Shannon.
Because
I
I
honestly,
think that's what happened. Like he played that one year, and then they franchised him again, and that's when he wasn't showing up, and it was a mess. But that's what I don't want to have
yeah,
happen. You don't want that with your quarterback. And with the way that, like with the article that I referenced earlier, it was a lot of things in there that I forgot about this season that happened as far as Lamar and his attitude and the way he had been acting. And it's been in a way that was different from how he had acted the previous 4 years, showing his emotion in a way. Remember, he kicked the ball, throwing things on the sideline, arguing with his teammates. It just made reading that article made me think, well, what is he frustrated with? Or are you frustrated with the organization as a whole? Are you frustrated with this offense? What I don't know, because even in wins sometimes, as the article said, he was snappy in the press conference at the end of the games. So it makes me wonder when people say, I don't think somebody said on Facebook, I think Lamar's trying to force his way out of Baltimore. And I hope that's not true.
right.
But if that's true, I want to be over with this sooner than later. And I mean, trade him if that's the case, because we don't need to go into the whole off season still trying to figure out if Lamar wants to be here. I feel like if the franchise tag gets applied, he might be upset. However, Lamar has to also negotiate in good faith. I understand wanting a guaranteed contract. You can want whatever you want. That article that I read today said that every counter offer Lamar gave back was guaranteed. Every counter offer. So that means that the Ravens are trying. The Ravens are upping their ante. They're offering you more than what they may have offered the last time. I can't assume they're giving you less when they send you back a counter offer. But
Right.
everything you send back is still guaranteed. If this is true, that means you're the one that's not budging. So then how can we negotiate if you're not even trying to budge? Now, like what you just said, I've been saying the same thing. Offer him 200 million and let's go from there. If Lamar doesn't want 200 million guaranteed, and then you can inflate it to 290 to 300 million based on different things and all of that, then I don't know what to say. But that's what I would do if I was the Ravens. That would be my offer at this point. I would offer 200 million, however many years you need to do it, 5, 6, whatever works for them and him. And if Lamar doesn't want that, then I'm a franchise tag him because I don't want to lose him. I'm going to hope that he shows up. But I don't know if it's going to get done now. Like I said, every day I got a different opinion. And after reading that today, it makes me feel like it's not going to get done if Lamar is hung up on a guaranteed contract. What will hurt him is if Herbert and Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow get paid and they don't get a guaranteed contract because all three of them will be within their right to request that too, right? So if
Well,
those three,
only one, maybe Justin Herbert probably ain't got no leg to stand off of. That numbers wise he does, but it's like everything other than that is okay.
I
You
mean,
haven't
but
you haven't
guess
even
what?
want to
We
put
we could say
the other two for sure. The Super Bowl appearances, yeah,
so. But my point is, if Lamar could feel that way, like I want a guaranteed contract, Herbert, all of these quarterbacks can say I want a guaranteed contract, right? But I'm just saying, if those three don't get it, where does
right.
that leave Lamar? Because now everybody like, oh, Lamar, the Ravens are disrespecting Lamar, and I just feel like, how are they disrespecting him if they've been trying to negotiate for 2 years? That means they want him. I
Right.
think they're making efforts to sign him. We see them negotiate. I don't think it's about not having an agent. We see them negotiate with players and get deals done with no agent. So I'm scared because, like I said, every other week I feel a different way. I'm getting nervous as we get closer to the timeline because, like somebody said, they think that after the combine, something may be done as far as applying a tag or a deal. And I'm just saying, well, what if you do go to the combine and the team offers the Ravens something they can't refuse? You know? So overall about Lamar, I don't want to lose him. I hope we can sign him because the next thing I want to talk about, I feel like the first thing we need to do, we did the first thing. We got a new offensive coordinator. The next thing to me is getting Lamar signed. But it's going to be hard to get other guys to come in not knowing what's up with Lamar. You know what I mean? So I
Mm.
hope a deal can get done because I really don't want them to play the franchise tag game.
No, I agree. Because like I said, that's a dangerous game. Because that can go. Like I said, he can sign and play you on it the next year. And you be like, you know what? I'm gone. I'm taking my talents to whatever. Now you sitting here, all you think you can get as a second round or third round comp. Like
Hmm.
that's
And
it.
then
So
and
it's
then we
like,
spending the whole off season talking about Lamar in his contract again when we can be talking about this new offense. So that's why I'm just like, I hope it gets done because it'll be an unnecessary distraction if we still talking about Lamar and the Ravens and the contract and get the deal done. And I'm talking about the Ravens and Lamar. Offer that man 200 million and let's go from there. Like, what? How can he turn that down?
right. Yeah, I think me personally, I think he'll play on that. 'Cause like I said, that's gonna be more money than he ever gonna be able to spend. And then, like you
Hmm.
said, work the rest of the incentives and all that. But it just because we can't, because Todd Monken took this job basically saying like I'm gonna have eight at quarterback. Had
Right.
he had any other like thoughts about him not gonna be here? I don't think Todd Monken takes this job. I think he stays in Georgia and just keep winning
Yeah.
championships there. So
So that that
so they
that that no, go ahead.
oh, excuse me. So yeah, so they definitely need to go and wrap this up because now when we get closer to draft time, you gonna have these analysts, and it's not their fault; it's their job. They got to put something up there. They're gonna say, "Hey, will the Ravens go take Anthony Richardson? Will the Ravens trade tomorrow? Gonna get C.J. Stroud or Will Levis, or will they trade
Hmm.
somewhere and get a quarterback like Trey Lance, or will they try to get Justin Fields for the Bears? You gonna hit. That's gonna open up all that talking. You can't get mad at
Hmm.
because they left the door open for that. So they
Right.
definitely got to get that done to where they can just get the install in and get the weapons they need in here, and get ready for the season. That way, all that's behind
Right. And so that goes into the next thing I wanted
them.
to talk about because if we do franchise tag Lamar, that can hinder us cap wise and what we can do and what we can offer someone else.
Yeah,
So right after that March 7th deadline, free agency probably starts maybe what a week later. I didn't even look to see what
a
date
week,
that is.
about the 14th, 15th. So yeah, about a week later.
Yeah. So then that goes into the next thing I want to talk about, which is wide receiver. I think wide receiver is something that all Ravens fans want.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been asking for it. Even when Joe Flacco was here, we complained about the lack of wide receivers and the weapons and getting guys past their primes or letting guys go and things like that. But there are three guys that stand out to me. And I think, I mean, even with I think as of right now, Mike Evans and D Hop are still under contract, right?
Yeah.
They're not okay. So three wide receivers I've been thinking about: D Hop, Mike Evans, and Odell Beckham. Right. I want you to give me your opinion on those three wide receivers, and out of those three, which one, two, all three? Like, how do you feel about them? Who will be the best fit for the Ravens?
The best fit. Okay. Probably be Mike Evans if I had to say because he already plays in the Todd Monken offense. Like
Hmm.
I said, every year over 1,000 yards. No matter who's the quarterback, Brady, Jameis, Mike Lennon, whoever,
Hmm.
1,000 yards. So people can't say it's because of Tom Brady and all that. Anybody that watched football long enough know Mike Evans been producing long before Brady thought about that. So
Hmm.
definitely Mike Evans, big body. He's what 28, 29. He's not 30 yet, so he's still
Hmm.
relative.
He'll be 30 by the start of the season.
Okay, yeah, so it's still not old. 30 is still not old. But yeah, Jerry Rice and them guys are playing today in 40. So
Hmm.
and like I said, big target, catch races, don't have no off the field issues. So definitely it'll be Mike Evans for one. It all depends what the Bucks want to return.
Hmm.
Then I'll go with DeAndre Hopkins. His value probably dropped he's beast up, but the kid still is amazing. Another guy who produced for anybody quarterback. Like I said, even when he came back off his suspension, he had like 4 5 straight weeks. He had like 10 catches, 100 yards, three
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns. Like he put up an amazing second half of the year once he comes back. So that'll be them. But then number three for me, uh, this is a guy I threw in there. I posted him on a couple groups. Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Keenan Allen, because the Chargers have said, by them already paying Mike Williams, they said they might take a receiver with their first round pick. So Keenan Allen might can be out the door. So if we can get him, I'll take it. I know his injury history been a little shaky, but when healthy, guys, a 1,000 yard receiver, he can play the slot, he can play outside, he can move all around the ladder, and then he can be the guy to groom up Rashad Bateman. So that'll
Mm-hmm.
be my number three choice, and then of course Odell because he plays in Todd Monken's office. Well, he's fully healed now from the injury because it at least takes a year, like I said. So it's been since last year since he got hurt. So now he can feel comfortable going up there playing and all that, and he won't cost a lot. So you got to see what the market is for him. So that'll be my list. That'll be my order: Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Odell Beckham.
Okay. So let me give you my little breakdown that I had. But I didn't think about Keenan Allen, but that's a good one as well. So we have Mike Evans, right? He'll be 30 by the start of the season. Odell will turn 31 during the season, and then D Hop will be 31 by the start of the season. So, like
Mm-hmm.
age wise, it's not a lot of difference between the three people. Now, with Mike Evans, he knows the system, obviously. He could help our wide receivers come along with learning the different schemes and routes and things of that nature. He would definitely get over 1,000 yards because we've seen him do that, regardless, like you said, whoever was at quarterback, he could still do that. What we would need from any of these guys is help in the red zone. He's known for that. Oh, he has been known to be able to do that. But like last year, he wasn't that good as far as touchdowns on the red zone as he was in the previous 2 seasons. When I did watch Bucks games, him and Tom Brady seemed to be a little bit off. I can't put that solely on him. I don't know if that was Tom Brady, but he didn't look it didn't look as clean as it has looked in the past. But that doesn't mean that he's still not capable. My issue with getting or my concern, not issue, but my concern with Mike Evans is what will we have to give up to get him? Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to trade him. They're not just going to release him. They're going to
Right.
trade him. So I'm concerned. Like we don't have that many draft picks right now, as of right now, and what will we have to give up to get him? I don't know. I don't know. So that would be the concern as far as he's concerned. With Odell, also, we obviously know he knows the system as well. Odell can make amazing catches, big ones too. We've seen him do that throughout his career. As I mentioned with Mike Evans, we need help in the red zone. Now, Odell isn't as well known for his scoring lately. He hasn't had a 10 touchdown season since 2016. Odell has a big personality, and we've all seen how he acts when things aren't going his way. We saw it with the
Right.
Giants, we saw it with the Browns. Now we could say he matured. He's a father now, so things could be different for him. But that's my concern with him because on the Ravens, you might not always get the ball. You might be a decoy. We don't need somebody on the sideline acting like Antonio Brown, causing a distraction, kicking helmets and soccer balls and all types of extra stuff because you're upset because you're not getting the ball. As I said, we do have a young group of guys in the wide receiver room, so we need somebody that can come in and have some sort of leadership. I don't know if that's Odell. I'm not saying that can't be Odell. This could be a new and improved Odell, but I don't know if that's Odell. Um, my concern with Odell outside of personality wise is the injuries. I was looking at his injury history and he's had two ACL tears within the past 2 years. He had one in 2020, and then he had
Mm-hmm.
one at the beginning of 2022. So that's a concern for me because we already have issues with getting guys on the field. So I would hate to bring. I mean, that would be right up the Ravens' to bring in somebody that is injury prone, right? But he can't help us if he can't be on a field. And I'm not saying he's not healed. I saw all of the videos. Odell looks great. But I would hate for Odell to come to Baltimore and get hurt or be banged up or tweak something. And then it's like, dang. Now Odell might not cost as much because you could play on a incentive based type of thing and bring up his injuries and things of that nature. So in that sense, Odell could be a little bit cheaper. But I heard last year that the kind of the dilemma last season, like why he didn't get signed on the season, was that he was looking for like a long-term deal. And I think that's a concern for a lot of teams when you see somebody get two ACL tears within not even a whole 2-year period. So, like you said, it take a year to get over one, but he got two, he had two. So that's a concern for me as far as his injuries. As to why I might not injuries and his personality. I don't know if that would mix in Baltimore what we trying to do now. With everything that I said about Mike Evans and Odell, I can say the same thing about D Hop. We've seen him produce with no name, like nobody at quarterback. Like we know he can do that. The man barely drops anything. He's very capable of being 1,000-yard wide receiver. We've seen him do that in past seasons, even though he hasn't done that for the past 2 years in Arizona. It's a lot more to that than what you see. Just looking at the numbers, we know everything that have transpired there. I feel like he could provide leadership to our group of wide receivers. Like I said, we have young guys that need to learn. Um, D Hop, he barely drops anything, So when a ball comes his way, 9 times out of 10, he's going to catch it, and that's what we need. We have had a lot of drops over the past years with guys. Even when Hollywood was here, he was kind of known for having drops at the wrong time. And I think that having someone that we know can catch the ball, regardless of how it comes to them, that could be a great confidence booster for our offense because Lamar now has somebody else to throw it up to and not just Mark Andrews. See what I'm saying? You have somebody he can trust. I also think that he might be a little bit cheaper, even if it came down to the route of the Cardinals not wanting to release him and they want to trade him. We might could trade less for him than it would take to get Mike Evans. So in that regard, it's like, okay, maybe I would be willing to give up a second, third, whatever it may be for him. Not that I wouldn't give that up for Mike Evans if that's what they want. I just feel like with Mike Evans, they might want a first round pick.
Possibly.
Would I want to give up a first round pick for Mike Evans? Maybe. But my fear about doing that is would he stay here? I don't want to give up a first round pick for you. I think I saw that he's going to be a free agent in 2024 for you to then leave in a year because then I'm going to be like, we wasted a draft pick on nobody, So is he worth the first round pick? Yes. But should we give it up? I don't know. So for me, I'm torn between Mike Evans and D Hop. Like I said, I love Odell, nothing against Odell, but I just feel like I don't know if he would fit here. Personality wise, we don't need another injury prone person here. We need to get Bateman on the field. We like I saw a quote from him saying, third year gotta be a charm. I hope it is. We don't need to bring Odell in here though, knowing that he has this history. But I wish Odell well, and I actually think that the Giants, if they keep Daniel Jones and Saquon, they should get Odell. But I'm torn between Mike Evans and D Hop. I feel like if we could get either guy, I would be 100% okay with that. We need a veteran wide receiver and not just like anybody, But those are my thoughts. I would be okay with either one of those two.
What about Keenan Allen?
I'm not against him either. I didn't even consider him. But did you say that he has injuries? A lot. He's had injury history.
Yeah.
So that's why I was.
When he first came into the league, but it leave a little bit last year. But he's played
How
the
old is
full
he?
season out. He's probably a little older than all. He's probably about to be like 32 because he came in the league in 2013. So
But see, so now that would be the person the Ravens would get.
Yeah, him and D Hop was in the same.
That would be the one the Ravens would get. Like we're saying, get this one, that one, and that would be the one they would get. The older guy, a little bit of injuries, whatever. Would I be mad? No, but he wasn't even on my radar. When I thought about the like wide receivers, I was like these three. But again, I wouldn't be mad. We need them. We need a wide receiver that can come in and teach these guys some things. I feel like we need that. So
because him and Mike Evans was in the same class, and Odell and Mike Evans was in the same class. Him and D Hop was in both. All four receivers was in the same class. 2013. Let me slow down. DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen was in that class. 2014, Odell and Mike Evans was in that class.
Yeah, well, all of them would be beneficial. All of them, and I like our wide receivers, but I would just say all of them would help our team, right? I feel that way. But Mike Evans, just as we talking it out, he might be the best one to come in though because he really knows the system, and that could help. I remember when Kubiak came here, it seemed like we had a person from that knew his system, like one player at each position group that played in his system that could help the guys understand how to run it, how he wanted it done. and I feel like that could be beneficial to have somebody that knows Monken's system. But also in an article that I read today, it was said that he didn't call plays when he was the offensive coordinator in the NFL. And I know he's going to call plays here. So that's going to be really interesting to see because, Harbaugh's not calling any plays. So that'll
Right.
be interesting to really see how that'll work out. And I say all of that to say that's why I want Lamar to get his deal done. Because if you get Lamar's deal done, then we can go into the next important thing, which is the wide receiver. To me, even though we know offensive line is important as well, I just feel like a wide receiver would help. It would give Lamar some confidence if he's lacking that. I feel like a big time proven wide receiver would give him some confidence.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, and then unless you want to add something else, we can wrap it up. It's up to you. Like I said, it's
Oh,
your discussion.
that's it.
Bolden, Mason, all those guys are very pivotal for Joe Flacco. Young Joe Flacco
Hmm.
at this time. So and those guys, they're not going to be 1,600 yard guys in this late in the career, but they made plays when he needed it in the big
Hmm.
playoff games, the AFC Championship game, the Super Bowl. Like Bolden only had like 980 yards in the Super Bowl year, but the playoffs,
Yep.
he just went nuts, man.
Yeah.
So that's the type of guy we need. Like we get any one of those guys. Like they don't
Hmm.
gotta come here and put up 1,700 yards because we're not that type of offense. We gotta still feed our running backs. So we're not gonna be throwing the ball 70 times a game and stuff like that. So I just think
Hmm.
a lot of those guys want to win the Super Bowl for the most
Yeah.
part. And then another guy that stood out to me, and he's a little younger, DJ Chop. He had a pretty good successful season with the Detroit Lions. I don't know if they're going to sign
Hmm.
him or not. I know Jameson Williams is there. They got from around St. Brown, and they got two first round picks. They might draft some mine and let him go. But we can get
Hmm.
him. He's 6'4", 225, 30 pounds.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
so
like big wide receivers.
yeah, DJ Chalk was, he was solid in Jacksonville. They blew the whole thing up there once they got rid of Ramsey and all them. So they basically cleaned
Hmm.
house and it worked. And it worked for them. Because now they back to a winning organization. And another
Hmm.
one is Adam Lazard with the Packers. Big number 13, big receiver, 6'5", 230. It's solid number two. Could be a number one, but he's been productive. But the thing with him, can he be productive about Aaron Rodgers? So that's my only thing. But those are two other names I came across. When I was just thinking about the receivers, I think the most
Hmm.
appreciated.
Well, it's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, everyone, that's it. Like I told you, our shows probably, they'll probably be 3.5 hour, not gonna be 2 hours long and all that. Because we just try to get y'all attention for a little bit. But, Tuesday, I'll have some more mock drafts. I'm sure Shannon has some too. We'll go more into that and just get more in depth, with position groupings and stuff like that. O line, edge rushers, talk about those prospects that not on everybody's radar. So
Hmm.
yeah, just stay tuned, man. So, Shannon, anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, I'm ready to go enjoy some of this weather. It's nice outside.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Enjoy the happy hour. So everyone, have an amazing Thursday. Make sure y'all trade Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P. And my co-host, the lovely Shannon Fitch. We'll see you guys Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, same bat channel, same bat time. Love y'all, and we out.
See ya.